So we move on to our next giant speaker, Dr. Arunaloke Chakrabarti. He is the head of medical microbiology at the PGI Chandigarh. He is also the professor and in charge of the Center of Advanced Research in Medical Mycology, the WHO Collaborating Center for Reference and Research on Fungi of Medical Importance and National Culture Collection of Pathogenic Fungi. He is the president of the Indian Society for Human and Animal Mycology. We are very, very honored to have him as a speaker this day because when you think of mycology, the first person who comes to your mind, both nationally and internationally, is Dr. Arunaloke. He has he's done many important innovative works related to mycology, and he has many publications, more than 200 publications in this field, which is a very difficult field. And he's delivered lectures in medical conferences, more than 100 lectures, and in various societies. He's wrote chapters and books, and his major contribution is in the epidemiology of fungal sinusitis, mucormycosis, and hospital-acquired fungal infections. His laboratory identified the endemic regions of fungal sinusitis, porotrichosis, penicillosis, and sources of Cryptococcus gattai in India, and emergence of the resistant strains in different parts of the country. So you can see that he's gone deeply into this field and is one of the world leaders in medical oncology. So now I'll give over to Dr. Arunaloke for his talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Somia, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I'd like to thank Dr. Dhiman, Dr. Mishra, Dr. Ghoshal for giving me this rare opportunity to speak with the faculty. Dr. Sarin has given you a vision, but I am coming to the reality. The question comes, why we should do research as faculty members? I would like to clarify, I'm not going to give you any advice here. You are master what you are. Just I like to share my loud thinking. As when I discussed with my younger colleagues here, they said why I should do research when my career progress is almost assured without research, when my salary will be the same without doing research, when I would not get any extra promotion doing research. And already Dr. Sarin said, a lot of people are bothered about the patient load. And that's really, the faculty also think, I have no time for research. The research is for the basic scientists. I will deal with my patients. So with this background scenario of our country, if any faculty is doing research, we generally consider that's a half-mad person. He is not fit in this realistic or materialistic world. Friends, I may be sarcastic, but it is the true scenario of most of our premier medical institute. But I like to draw attention of you to my loud thinking of certain things. Even in this scenario, what I find that nearly 30% of the faculty is still doing research. They are doing this research because of their inquisitive mind. They feel the patient's diagnosis and management is research. Their mind always asks why, how, and what to each problem. I would ask, there was a debate once that why can I be not a good doctor and all should be researchers? I ask you very frankly, can you be a good doctor without research? Your mind always, or you always face unforeseen conditions. Just you have seen this recently when there was an outbreak happened in Ilore of Andhra Pradesh. When a clinician like you are facing this, isn't it started thinking what is the problem? What might be the reason of this particular epileptic type of presentation? Look at our COVID-19. Yes, the hardcore basic scientists at present could explore what is the structure of this particular RNA and detail of it, and almost developing a vaccine. But as a clinician, when you are handling patient in the ward or ICU or even in the lab daily, didn't you feel uncertainties? 10 months have passed since this outbreak, but still we don't know what should be the exact management protocol of the COVID patient. Why certain patients suddenly deteriorates? What should be the best management here? So you are always asking question, why, how, and what. You know, in the US, to get admission to any medical graduation after schooling, each one has to go through 4 years graduation complying with medical school pre-medical requirement. And most importantly, they have to shadow a doctor who assess your skill. They really assess your research skill. In India, something like this is not existing. We just after plus 12, we are joining in medical school. Yes, these are the best talented people of this country, but ultimately, all this cannot be an ideal doctor. Ideal intelligent person can only be an ideal doctor if he has got a research mind. However, I would say that those who are faculty in SGPGI, have gone through a selection process, a rigorous selection process, and the selection looked into your research skill, research competence. So already you have your research mind, only you have to recognize this on this aspect. Friends, you are also teacher. You are not teacher of a school or a graduate only. You are a postgraduate teacher. What is postgraduate teaching? Is the facilitation for the students. You are not directly this type of teaching which you do in schools. You are supposed to encourage the students to think each reason, why, how, and what. Can there be a good doctor or a good teacher as SGPGI without being researcher? Didn't you guide your students for doing thesis? What is this thesis? Don't you guide your student to think for research question for conducting thesis? So the faculty should be more actively engaged in this mentorship program with significantly higher qualitative and quantitative output. Friends, if you do good research, you may not get extra pay, but you are recognized nationally, internationally with awards. You become fellow of the academic bodies. Your name appears in the newspaper. People recognize you. You are invited by national and international society to deliver lecture in the conference. You are invited as visiting professor to reputed institutes. Your colleagues look up you as someone special. Don't you feel you like all these accolades? Don't you feel proud when you are recognized by your peer group? The distinction of well-earned recognition can never match one obtained through the mutual admiration society. Friends, another important point, you are working in a reputed institute. The name and fame of your institute depends on you. Collective research of the faculty is an important yardstick to get better ranking of your institute. We all feel proud of our institute. When you speak anyone outside and say, oh, you are a doctor from SGPGI, that reputed institute, how do you like it? Well-motivated faculty are like to be productive researchers who contribute to this institute's international recognition and attract research funds, produce outstanding postgraduate. So let's, friends, work together for the reputation of this institute. Friends, I would sure I have raised certain question in your mind, but it is more of my own loud thinking. But at the same time, I understand that great responsibility of the research environment lies with the administration. The administration may make research fund available for the young faculty. I'm sure that is already being in SGPGI, but this startup fund can be enhanced or increased so that young faculty after joining get something to do, start work. You know, for the young faculty to get extramural fund is a real problem or sometimes really difficult. So this is one way that is really can give them impetus to start work, so that from that work they can go for the external fund. Second important thing, what I feel is that any good research also requires sophisticated equipment. I'm happy your director, Dr. Dhiman, is now working or trying to develop a central sophisticated instrument cell. That would be a wonderful proposition, because all the research nowadays require very expensive equipment, which may not be possible for the funding agency always to give, or each department to have the same facility. Third important point which I feel from the administration is that we, the faculty of the medical institute, whoever it is, are always called born. When you have joined as a faculty, you are asked to do the teaching, considering that you are a born teacher, without any training for education and teaching. And you are also considered as a born researcher without training how to do research. I strongly feel there should be a research training for this young faculty. The administration may start such structured course if already not available at your institute. Those at the helm of the research affairs looks for logical mind. Yes, we need logical mind. But we also need out-of-box thinker. Dr. Sarin elaborated on the issue very nicely. I really enjoyed his lecture in this aspect. All great breakthrough came out of box thinking, and administration may encourage out of box thinking in the campus. And innovation, what Dr. Sarin has mentioned, that is very important in young researchers' mind. I would say the administrator, you cannot give extra promotion. You cannot give extra salary to the performer of the researcher, but you can give extra fund for research. Isn't it so? I'm sure you have made such provision already. Administration may look up such scheme to honor the achiever by recognition or providing extra fund. And you know, human needs some intrinsic and extrinsic inducement, encouragement, or incentive to do better. Intrinsic motivation means the desire, want to drive, want to do something, whereas the administration can provide the extrinsic inducement by giving recognition to the faculty and providing extra fund for the researcher. Administration may also facilitate communication of the institute with the other reputed institute in the country. The external communication is the critical productivity in research. It influences the motivation of the faculty. Communication facilitates the transfer of knowledge and concepts, as well as the exchange of feeling and ideas. At last, not the least important point for the administrator, I feel that each faculty faces some hurdles while doing research. You can plan for individual faculty meeting, not group faculty meeting, individual faculty meeting in presence of the head of the department. By interaction, remove all the hurdles, plan for a roadmap of the faculty for 5 years, and evaluate the same faculty after 2 years for any requirement of the course correction. That's tremendously important, and that would really improve the mind or capability of this young researcher. So friends, at last, I appeal to you to think positive. I would say here that a busy man has time for everything. If you do not get time because of the patient load, think research on your daily patient load. You know, good computation and chart review of the patient had brought out many good papers. I would here say that when you are joining as a young faculty, think big and divide that big portion into small parts. Try to cross each step one by one. Just like in cricket, when a captain faces a big score to achieve, as in when he is chasing a score, he cannot just imagine 400 runs to achieve. He plans, okay, this quarter I do this quarter I do this quarter I'll do. So you can take a burning problem in your discipline and take small steps to solve the problem. Friends, one important suggestion I always have, because from my life experience, I felt it. We are not in developed country. We are not in USA and European country. We have to do a lot of non-productive administrative work in the institute, whether you like it or not like it. We have to see a lot of patients without any restriction. We get tired after routine work at the end of the day. It is really difficult for us to compete Western world in case of the research. Therefore, think for some India-specific patient problem where you have less competition. You have the patients, you have the problem in your own hand, and you can progress steadily, though the progress may be a little slow. But if you solve the problem, you will be recognized. You know, in my life, I started looking at this thing in two areas specifically. One is the mucormycosis, another is the fungal sinusitis, where we have plenty of patients are there which Western world don't have. And after spending long time in these two areas, wherever in the world, any discussion, any lecture, or any problem-solving meeting is there on these two issues, I get my invitation for this. So this is which I have realized out of it. So I have not given you a really big roadmap in that sense, but this is my loud thinking, how at least we can take small steps in progressing. Yes, what Dr. Sarin says, that would be really important for our country. But you know, till that comes, we cannot wait. Take these small steps, and I hope this would be helping all of us at least to return the glory of this premier medical institute, which they used to be really proud of it. Thank you very much for your kind attention.